And there we are, there we are, there we are. Kelz with the intels. We are back again on a Tuesday night with the intels on our Dallas Cowboys. How about them
Yes,
Cowboys, Kelz? How
girl.
about them Cowboys, Kelz, with that win over the Giants? So
How
fill
about
us
it?
in, give us all the tea, give us all the deets, give us all that, give us all that, give us all that.
Let me tell you. I'm actually recording the game now so I can look at it again. That game, we should have had that game in the bag. And today is the Cowboys off day. So they'll be back at practice tomorrow to prepare for the Chicago Bears. Um and I already know, like, when they had their interviews and their walkthrough on yesterday, I know some of those coaches on both ends of the ball went back and looked at the film and was like, how? How?
Gotcha.
That game should have not been
Not
that
been
close.
that close. Yeah.
We let Russ cook for
Yeah.
almost 500 yards.
So what's going on with the defense?
Good question. Flus, I have a feeling that Flus is going to what did I put? He might tailor his game plan on a week to week basis, but this was the game, in my opinion, that we should have ran straight man. Um, because the Giants don't really have the personnel to run zone. Flus is running a cover, but sometimes between the cover three, cover four, zone defense, and he's using a 4-3, uh, a 4-3 scheme with a three tech defense and a one tech who is the nose tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this should have been a game where we played man. Um, our interior, they did pretty good and everything, but when that pocket collapsed, Russ cooked. Um, Wandale and that Malik Neighbors all over the place,
Yeah.
and
So
our
I'm partial to Wandale because he's from here in Kentucky, about 20
uh
minutes away. I know his family, and he played at Kentucky, and he was so fun to watch. So yeah, I couldn't even be mad at him.
yeah, and we was doing pretty good on penalties, but we ended up collecting 12 penalties. At the end, after it was all said and done. Um, but our secondary got toast. You could definitely tell that Deron Bland was definitely missed, especially in the slot. Kyer Elam, I always, and I'm still going to stick by. I think he's going to be uh the comeback player, one of the comeback players for the team because of the issues that was going on with Buffalo and everything.
Mhm.
Um, I still have high hope for him. Um, but he's and I was like, maybe he would be good in the slot. But then when I thought about it, I said no, he's more so like on the boundaries, and they didn't scheme up a good plan for the secondary. I and Trevon Diggs basically played out of his position. He is not a zone corner. He's more of a man to
Man to
man
man. Mhm.
corner. So that's why he got smoked and got burnt a lot. So Lord, it was just a game. It should have not gotten to that point. Like I was saying, that game should have been wrapped up by at least by the second quarter. But one of my fan club fans, she was like, "Nah, I think we should have this wrapped up by the third quarter because you could never know because I kept saying on another podcast that I'm on that today's Giants is not yesterday's Giants.
Right.
Um, and even when we play them, they could have a perfect 0-16 record. But when it comes to us, they will play us dirty
I
and
don't.
grimy.
It's just some teams that just show we're their Super Bowl. You know what I mean? And I think that that's the case with the Giants,
Yeah. And
especially with Dak's track record against them.
right. And I was like, man, this should be the game where Dak should have like that Aaron Rodgers mentality where he could go around to the Giants fans say, I'm your,
Yeah,
what is that thing he said? Like, I own you and stuff. I said, oh
I
no.
own you or something
I
like
said,
that.
no, he
Yeah,
can't. I said, this is not the stadium for him to do that. He has to do that at MetLife. I said this because he's home. It was more than likely it was more of us than it was of Giants fan. I said I think we need to save that when he goes to MetLife, and then he could go around and say, "I own you." Because he hasn't. He's what now 14-2.
against the Giants. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he's 14-2 against the Giants. Um, it was. I mean, it was a good game. It really kept us on our toes. But I think before we could come down off the high, then we get the thing. Oh wait a minute, we signed Jadavian Clowney.
Did he get signed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said Jerry was probably on that phone at
I mean, we
halftime.
needed another pass rush, a
Yeah,
pass rusher. So I think that he was just good. I think my biggest thing is I think we're putting pressure, but we're just not finishing on defense.
right. That I don't know what was going on with defense, and I really don't know what was going on with the with the offense either. If
Well, we lost our starting center, right? Didn't he have a high ankle sprain,
Well, it's not a high ankle sprain.
or what? What
I'm
was something
trying to
else?
find out. It's a
Oh, I thought it was an ankle
lateral.
sprain
What
or
they
something
thought
else.
it was, but
Oh,
it's still gonna be the same amount of time. It's a
mm-hmm.
lateral something fracture.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Because
So
he's
he
gonna be out like 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks. So it's still the
Yeah.
same amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Um who else? Cavante Turpin. He They did further testing reviews on the neck injury that he got in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But it looked like he will be able to play against Chicago.
Okay.
So everything it came out clear, so it's no caution that he'll be missing some time. As far as the cornerback, our rookie cornerback, Savon Revel Jr., it looked
Mm-hmm.
like he will probably more than likely will be getting his debut in week 5 if everything is ahead of schedule. And as far as um our center, our backup center, I just want people don't be alarmed. Brock Hoffman is a menace. He's the one that you want to be with you to protect you and will throw people up out of the club.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a menace. He's very, yes, and I've been around him. I've met him a few times when the team comes to DC to play the Commodores. Um he talks a lot of trash and he backs it up. Um he it was some Washington fans that was there at the hotel, and they were talking, Washington
Of
being
course.
Washington and stuff, but and Brock didn't care if you was a kid or not. If you He said, I got smoke, let's go. He didn't care. He didn't care. No age limit requirement. You're going to get this work. And and then when we went to the game the following day, where we was sitting at, we was real close where we could hear what was being said with the teams. So I guess on like TV it was like on a commercial break and all this other stuff. So they're at the field, not the field goal, at the end zone, at the 1 yard line. And the Cowboys getting ready to score. I don't know what it was, either Allen or Payne for Washington said something because he had to come in and fill in for Zach Martin because he also plays right guard.
Right.
And either Allen or Payne said something to Brock Hoffman, and the only thing I heard Brock said was, "That's the same thing your mother said to me last night," and I was like, I said, he is such a menace and he don't care. I love it. Let's go. Let's get this touchdown. But yeah, he's going to come in and fill in for Cooper Beebe. So I don't want people to get kind of nervous about him. We do have a good backup, and that's one thing I can say with our offensive line is we're at a good position where we really don't have to worry like, oh gosh, okay, God forbid if Tyler Booker goes out, who do we have? Because one thing that our offensive line have is hybrids. We have oh my gosh, who threw that pillow there?
Look, your boy. You just asked about him. He just snuck up
Husband,
here.
husband.
Yes. Ain't nobody studying you in your pillow.
But
Mr. Brown, come get your boy.
but we have but we do have we are in a good position where on our offensive lines we do have hybrids. Like we have TJ Bass. He played all positions on offense. He can play left guard, he could play right guard, he could play center, he could play left and right tackle. We used to have awesome Richards, but we now we traded him to New Orleans, and he played all those positions too. And we have like Cooper Beebe. If he wasn't injured, he could play right guard.
Okay.
When he was drafted, he played right guard at Kansas. So we're at a good position where we don't. Oh God.
I mean, I think it's good that we're drafting or we're trading for hybrid players that can just play multiple positions.
Yeah, and even drafting, and that's a good shout out to with Will McClay. So for the last couple of years we have been doing that. The only thing I wish we could put Tyler Guyton at his natural position, which is right tackle.
Okay.
But he's doing pretty well this season compared to last season. His rookie year, he has accelerated a little bit better than his rookie year.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Well, Mr. Brown, you hit that dead on the news. That 64-yard field goal to win the game was, I mean, who'd have thought it? 64 yards. I mean, come on, at crunch time. I mean, I was watching college, and Tennessee lost to Georgia because of a missed field goal. So we do know how important field goal kickers are, especially in the crunch when the game is on the line. I mean, that's a lot of pressure, and you got to be able to step up.
I
So
think
he
their
said,
market is going to go up because
yes,
the market for a kicker, it is not where it can basically bust your salary cap wide
yeah,
open. Like
mm-hmm,
if Jerry is talking about signing him like in this season,
mm-hmm,
Aubrey could basically make anywhere between 6 to 10 million.
and he
Give him
should
a
if
60
if he
million.
continues to stay
Yeah,
consistent the way
yeah.
he is,
So he could
because
be
he's
signed
winning games.
right. And last year, our games depended on a kicker.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and honestly, it should not have to be like that because
It shouldn't.
everything fell on Aubrey last year.
Yeah.
Because we basically didn't have anybody. But he could stand to make 6 to 10 million, a 6 to 10 million deal. So that
Mm-hmm.
could easily be two to 2.5 million a year. Um, because right
And
now
and he's worth the
the
money.
yeah, and right now the starting salary for a kicker is like between 1.5 to 1.7 million
Okay. Well,
a
like I
year
said, I think the value is going to
with
continue
no
going up.
state tax.
Right. Okay. So Mr. Brown got some good questions. Can you speak on Gerald's loyalty to Dak and Romo? He never sought a viable backup during their tenure.
uh he's always been loyal, even with Troy Aikman. I mean, if you look
Yeah,
at
because
it,
I couldn't tell you who Troy's backup was. I
gosh,
don't remember.
he's on. One of them is on All In, not All In.
Hmm.
What's that Netflix thing? The Gambler. Because he filled in for Troy Aikman during one of those Super Bowl runs during the
Hmm.
season, and Jason Garrett was his
Oh, and Jason
backup.
Garrett. Yeah, that's right. And
Yeah,
Jason Garrett. Yeah.
yeah. So, and I know Jason Garrett played the Thanksgiving game when Aikman got hurt.
Aikman got hurt. Yeah, I forgot. You're right, Mr. Brown. I forgot about Jason Garrett. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he said, most professional franchises have like a movie star, or rapper, or other celebrity as a super fan. Who is the Cowboys super
Oh
fan?
my gosh,
There's a lot though.
there's a
I
lot.
like all the comedians, to be honest with you.
So let's see. We have Post Malone. Post Malone's dad still works for the Cowboys. He's at the Star.
Hmm.
Um we have Omar Epps, Montel Jordan, this is how we
Yeah.
do it. Him.
Mhm.
Gosh, it's so many. It's so many.
It's the two comedians that I absolutely. What's his name? Bubba something, and Country Wayne. Or
Yeah,
is this
Country
Country
Wayne.
Wayne? Is Country
Country
Wayne no
Wayne.
longer a fan? Yeah.
No, he's still a fan. He did one of I didn't see this year's uh thing that he do. He's like, give me my money. Where my money?
Yeah.
But he did do one for for the Eagles game. He did do that one. I'm about to look up now because I know this names are slipping.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah.
Um Jamie Foxx, Eva Longoria,
Oh, even
yeah,
Denzel Washington
Denzel
is
Washington.
also a Cowboys fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to pull up. Kelly
Yeah.
Clarkson, of course.
Yeah.
Um, Stone Cold Steve Austin is a fan. Charlemagne,
The guy.
the guy, he's one. Of course, former President George Bush is one. His dad was a Texans fan. Grant Hill, Cowboys fan. His
Well, his
dad
dad played back in
Calvin
the
played.
day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um Hey, I'm trying to think of who else. Jay-Z used to be.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I've never been a Jay-Z fan.
Um it's something that's slipping. But we have a lot. We do have a lot of Cowboy fans that are celebrities.
Because I know when we were in Texas, um Matthew
Oh yeah.
McConaughey was on the sideline.
Yeah, he a Washington fan.
Is he a Washington fan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, and former
Oh, Snoop Dogg is a Cowboys fan, I
no, he's
think.
not.
No longer. Oh, was it Steelers?
No, he's a Steelers fan.
Steelers fan. He's a Steelers fan.
He just liked Emmitt Smith and just
Okay,
represented.
gotcha.
I'm like this. I love Ray Lewis. I always say in my mind I'm married to Ray Lewis. Um, like I have a harem of NFL husbands, and
Yeah, and he's
he's
one
my
of them.
yeah, he's like
Your number one.
one of my top ones. Um, but you will never catch me wearing a Ray Lewis jersey.
A Ravens jersey, or
Mm-mm. Now I have a Raven shirt with his autograph on it
mm-hmm,
because I want it, but
right.
I have that cellophane and stuff because I want to get a shadow box to put that
Oh,
in.
gotcha. To
But
preserve it. Okay.
yeah, you will never catch me in a Ray Lewis Ravens jersey. Nope. 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 Nope.
That
Nope.
that is funny. So why do you think that continues to dominate the Giants? Like how I think it's just some matchups are just I don't know, but what is it that has him where he's able to just have a good game against the Giants,
Because
even with a new system?
honestly, ever since
Because he's had three coaches, right?
mm-hmm,
Or four,
yeah,
three
and
coaches,
and
yeah.
Giants basically had almost the same who was the
And
coach?
they've almost had the same type of success. So he had Jason Garrett, then he had Mike, and then now he's got
Yeah.
Shoddy.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. When they got rid of McCaughlin,
Sean McLaughlin.
I thought his name was Tom.
The
I
Giants have
thought,
just
yeah,
struggled since.
I thought his first name was Tom. I can't remember.
Oh, it might be Tom. My
Yeah,
bad. It
Tom.
might be Tom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tom McCaughlin. They just
Hmm.
haven't really had a good coach, and then they had a series of GMs that really didn't know what they were doing. um, but yeah, and once Eli retired, it just went
Yeah.
it just went downhill. It just went
Yeah,
south.
because Jones definitely wasn't a good draft pick. Was it Jones?
You're talking about Daniel
Daniel
uh
Jones?
yeah, Dan. Well, I don't know because now I'm like
Well,
this.
he's balling. Maybe it's the system, and maybe it's the offensive
That's
coordinator. Remember, we talk about that all the time. Maybe it was
and I
just the
think
system
right,
because he's thriving in
and
Indianapolis.
Indy.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm saying. Like, so was it really Danny Dimes?
right. Yeah, I don't know. So, other than Prime winning a Super Bowl with Dallas and 49ers, who else shares that feature with Prime?
Shares that feat with Prime.
What what's his name? The
Charles
defensive
Haley.
lineman. Charles Haley, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Charles
man.
Haley. Yeah.
I've met Charles Haley. He, oh gosh, he's a piece of work. um, but I don't know. It seems like he does a lot more with the Cowboys than he does with the 49ers.
Charles Haley does?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because he's always at
He retired.
every
How did he retire? As a 49er or as a Cowboy?
He retired. I think he retired as both, or
Oh,
he
you can
just
do
did,
that?
or he just didn't
It,
retire
it
as. He
didn't
just said, I'm
I
retired."
retire and didn't
Yeah,
specify.
yeah. Which team? Yeah, it.
Right. Yeah, I don't
But
remember.
yeah. But I do know he does have. Like, I watched a little bit of the. Well, I have to finish watching it because I have to watch episode 5. But the first 4 that I watched, and they talked about Charles Haley coming to Dallas after San Fran, and they were saying how San Fran basically didn't take his mental health seriously and
Mm.
everything. And they would just say, just give him some pills, whatever, and just put him out on the field, whatever, because
Oh my
he
goodness.
was going through, he was going through some things.
Yeah.
But then when he talked about how when he came to Dallas, and this was before the Gambler, because I actually sat down and I listened to him, how he, what he was saying. And I remember him saying, um that when he came to Dallas, he was still dealing with mental health and everything. And Jerry Jones um got him the help he needed. They found out what was wrong with him. They put him on a plan and everything, and he stayed with the plan. He went to meetings and everything. Jerry Jones was there to support him, going to the meetings and everything.
Boy,
Um,
on
yeah,
the
and then
outside, you hear lots of good things about that Jerry Jones does, and I
right,
think even last week we talked about that. That I think he's
right,
getting a bad rep because even I had kind of fell into that whole trap where I felt like he was just really off the chain. But when you hear about stories like that,
yeah,
I mean, that man actually acts like he cares about his
right.
players. You know what
And
I
then
mean? And it's just a different perspective
perspective,
when you hear, yeah, when you hear some of the stories. Because when you're just looking at it from the outside in, it looks like he don't want to play nobody.
right. And then when we went for the 95 season, when we won that Super Bowl, during that whole season, Charles Haley found out that while he's dealing with his own personal issues, his daughter needed a kidney transplant.
Mm.
So Jerry Jones found out about it. And during that whole season, Jerry Jones set up donor drives
Oh wow.
for everyone
Um,
to get tested. And he put it
mm-hmm.
out. He put it out there with Charles Haley's permission and the
Right.
family's permission to say, that his daughter is in need of a kidney transplant. We need to find a donor.
Mm-hmm.
But they ended up finding a match for her and everything. She got the kidney transplant, but even throughout the time where she was in the clear, he was hosting um uh donor drives at
Mm-hmm.
Texas Stadium.
Wow. See, it's stuff like that that we don't, you don't, the stuff that we, and I think that that's just the nature of the beast is that people just it's the negativity and the drama that gets portrayed more and that gets highlighted more than anything. That's the reason why I don't have a whole lot of fans on my podcast because I'm not calling people out. I'm not. We
Yeah.
don't. We're not negative. Even with talking about the Cowboys or whatever and other teams, I don't believe in bashing other teams. I just believe in talking about my team.
Yeah, and I think what kind of shut, because some things that what Jerry does, he some things is behind the scenes,
Of course, and of
but the
course,
thing, but when he does things that's meaningful, if he's not being outland, it's always the outlandish stuff that will
always.
overshadow the
Hmm.
good he he can and will do.
Hmm.
Sometimes Jerry just don't know how to shut up. That's just shut up.
Right. And I ain't mad at him. So
Mm.
as a football fan and enthusiast, do you run Marshawn Lynch or pass the ball to lose the Super Bowl? What was that
The
Uh,
back-to-back Super
the
Bowl.
Seahawks.
Mm-hmm. They should have ran that ball.
They should have ran the ball. How do you not get the ball to Marshawn Lynch to beast mode? I'm just saying, because when he's one of those players where, what's the word we say? Big time players always step up in big time games. And when it's
Right.
time for the game to be on the line, you have to put the ball in the hands of your stud, your who, and Marshawn was that. When you needed a play, you needed a touchdown, when you needed the first down, when you needed, he's gonna get it.
Yeah, because I want
9 out
to
of
say that
10
was
times.
at that was what, at the 2 or the 3 yard line, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
But
Yes. Who's getting ready to stop him?
right there at
At the
the end
yes.
zone. And
Yeah.
even if it's not the Super Bowl, it's just
Even yes,
common
even
sense
outside
common
the
sense
Super
stuff.
Bowl. Yes.
Right. But one
I'm giving
thing
the ball to
that
Marshawn Lynch every time. I'm betting on him every
right,
time.
right. And one thing that my pastor has always said is common sense ain't common to common folk.
Not at all.
So if even and I could call it like it is too. Even I've seen the play calling when we are in the red zone, and for the past few years we have had
We struggle in the red zone. We
red
struggle
zone
in the red
issue.
zone. Yeah.
Um,
But we haven't had Zeke in a while, or the Marion
right,
Barbers, or we haven't had that we know that could get in the end zone.
right. So even with Zeke, even when we had towards the end of Jason Garrett years, and even with Mike McCarthy, when we're in the red zone, why would you call a play for Dak to throw it to CeeDee Lamb, especially when you at the 1 or 2? Run the ball in.
Or some type of a misdirection, or a boot, or I mean,
A
I just
quarterback
don't get it.
sneak, something.
Yes, I just don't get it. Yeah. Because our offensive line has always been, to me, clutch.
Yeah,
When you really needed them to, I feel like that they can come together. So whether it's a sneak, or just a boot, or some type of a misdirection or something, I don't know. What do
yeah.
I know? What am I know? I'm not an offensive coordinator.
I it's just I just look at some stuff and I'm like, why?
Right. Yeah.
And especially like with that pass and going back to the New York game with it was it the touchdown to Wandale or Malik Neighbors, but I know it was at the 10-yard line.
It was at the 10-yard line, and he put it up, and he had to go up and get it.
I'm
That one.
and the whole yeah, that one. And the whole thing I like that should have been a cover 4. Um why are we running zone, especially at the 10-yard line? Why it but I mean it's only so much that Trayvon Diggs can do. Like I said, he's a man-to-man corner. He's not a zone corner, none whatsoever. And uh when we had Dan Quinn, he was putting like press coverage with Trayvon Diggs.
Hmm.
So we need to get back to that with him. Um, but yeah, it's just stupid stuff. I'm like
It's always stupid stuff. You know what I mean?
10
And,
y'all
and
like
and I'm
why
learning, and I'm still learning, and I'll be with my husband all the time. Be like, why? Can you help me to make that make sense? Because it just didn't make sense to me. Certain
and
stuff, especially in the
right
red zone. But we really struggled, like the last, like you said, like probably last 5 or 6 seasons in the red zone. We have been horrible.
and and
Head coach,
and
he said, "Go
also,
Lions."
man, we ain't even thinking about the Lions right now. They so far down the schedule. We ain't even thinking about them right now. But yeah, like even when I was at the bar, and I saw that, I was like, that should have been a cover 4. Everybody looking at me like, oh, so you
Yeah.
really know? Yeah, I would have had the safeties coming down, but even our safeties is kind of suspect right now.
Yeah. So who watched that final play several years ago against the 49ers in the playoffs when the clock ran out? Dak or the OC? Was that the play where they were they were having a hard time where they was trying to place the ball and it was like 14 seconds
Yeah,
left and then Dak
yeah, that was
ran
in
the ball
yeah,
instead of
that was either the 2021 or the 2022
yeah,
season.
when he should have stopped the clock.
That was on us. That was poor clock management, of course.
I thought it
Of
was poor
course.
clock management going into that play. I thought it was poor clock management.
And people have to remember, like, we did have Shoddy at the time, but Shoddy was not calling no plays.
Yeah. McCarthy was
Mike
calling
McCarthy
McCarthy was calling the plays.
was
Yeah.
calling all the offensive line plays.
Hmm. And so what I also feel like is there was a lack of knowledge of the rules. So I felt like on Dak when he chose to run the ball to keep the clock going, because you got to know the clock stops on a pass, not when you run the ball, right?
Right.
And so when
Or
he
if you go
ran,
out of bounds.
unless you go out of bounds, right? And he didn't go out of bounds. So to me, that was almost like an IQ moment, or I don't know, maybe he just wasn't thinking or whatever. But you've got to know what the rules are,
Right.
and you've got to know that when you only have that much time left, that you have to pass the ball
Yeah.
because
And
you
and
have
I
to
and I
stop the
do
clock
and I
when you need the clock on your side.
right.
You
And
know,
I do remember that game because CeeDee Lamb was right there and everything. And he
yeah,
kind
and he ran it like 15 yards or something like that
but
instead of
not
just
on but not only that, but the how CeeDee Lamb was positioned, he was maybe like a hairline from the out of bounds line. So all Dak had to do
a
was
dude was throwing the ball, yes,
chuck
and
it
so that he
to
could
him
get out of bounds,
so
yes,
he could get out of bounds.
yeah, because I think all was if I'm not mistaken, we just needed to get in field goal range. I think
Yeah,
then
that's all we need to do. Get in
I think
field
all we
goal
need to
range.
do was just get in field goal range.
Yeah, that's
You
all we
know,
had to do.
so but I just felt like that in that moment. I don't know if it was necessarily Dak or the OC, or, but that's when you call a
That
timeout.
was
I
the
can't
head
remember what our
coach.
timeout was, and sometimes you just have to remind people, because I have to do it with my kids. They're middle school guys. We got this much time. I need y'all to hurry up and get to the line. We've got to move.
Hmm.
We got where the clock is running against us at this point. So I don't have time for y'all. We don't have time for y'all to just be taking your
Right.
getting out of the huddle. We're gonna go no huddle. We're gonna do this. If we got to get back to the line so that we can get the snap. And then even there, I think one of the players tried to put the ball in position, but the ref has to touch the ball in
Right.
order to put the position. And so I think even that was so it was like two incidences that I can remember during that where I felt like we didn't know the rules.
Yeah.
One was the referee had to touch the ball. You couldn't get the ball and then place it and then try to snap the ball. He had to go in and he had to snap the ball. And then the other one was you have to throw the ball. You can't
Right.
for him to decide to run the ball was a bad call on Dak's part because we had to pass the ball because
Yeah.
that's the only way
He
that you
should have.
stop the clock.
Yeah, because CD was on this was well my right, and I think that was the last year we had Coop with us, and Coop
Yes,
was positioned the same
same
way
way.
on
Mhm.
on the left side, so he had
Two big wideouts
two wide
that
outs
could have
right there
that
that
were
he
in
could have chucked
position.
the ball
Yeah.
and step out of bounds, but he
So going
decided.
back to that, Mr. Brown, I'm gonna say that.
I'll say the head coach because he's the one that called that play. And also during that time, And one thing I did watch, I was watching one of the shows yesterday that's on the Cowboys radio podcast. Shotty is giving Dak leeway if need be to call an audible for the 5 years that
He's never
McCarthy,
had that.
yeah, during the 5 years that McCarthy has been the head coach, he did not allow
Allow him to
uh
audible at the line.
to
And I
call an
guess I don't
audible.
understand that because, and I tell my, and as an offensive coordinator, I said, I don't want to have to. Sometimes you just know what to call based off of what the defense is giving you.
Right. And the only time that Dak really called an audible during the McCarthy era was when he was out with COVID. And Dan Quinn ended up being the interim head coach
Head
for that
coach
game. I forgot who he played, but he called audibles on 98% of Kellen Moore's
plays,
Kellen Moore's
offensive
plays.
calls. Oh wow.
Uh-huh. Because he didn't, because Shotty didn't end up being the head coach until Kellen Moore left to go to the Chargers, because at the time he was the Shotty was an offensive coordinator. He was an offensive line consultant. Then he ended up being the quarterback coach. And then when Kellen Moore left to go to the Chargers, that's how he became the offensive coordinator. So
Okay.
so that that particular game was the only time that Dak called an
Audible.
audible.
Yeah,
When
so Mr. Brown, I agree. I say, yeah, I can see both. It's definitely on both, but I thought it was more so on Dak because I'm like, why didn't you just throw the ball when you had
he
people
was
in play?
doing what McCarthy told him to do.
But if that's what McCarthy told you to do, that again, that's on
It's
McCarthy.
only so much Dak can do, and especially if they didn't allow him to do
Yeah,
audibles, call audibles.
he said for years that Russell Wilson should have audible out of that pass call and ran Lynch. It's football IQ. Yeah, I
Right.
just don't know how. Yeah, I don't.
And I still don't, and honestly I feel like I want I don't know if Pete Car Pete Carroll still has that haunting over him.
Yeah, and I bet he does. I mean, it's one play that totally cost you the game.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna tell you another person who's like that, Dan Quinn.
Mm.
Like, and I only say that
Oh,
because
when he lost to Tom Brady on that
right,
21 point comeback
right,
in
and
Atlanta.
the same issues, the same thing that happened when he was the head coach of Atlanta. He did it when he was with us those 3 years. You have to make adjustments, and everyone say, you have to make halftime adjustments and no, we
No,
have
you
to
got to
make
make adjustments as soon as you see an
in
issue. You
game,
can't wait till halftime.
in game adjustments.
Yeah, and I there, and you can see that there's certain coaches like that. They have their game plan, and I see it in basketball a lot.
Right,
We're here at Kentucky, and Calipari was here forever, and that's how he was. He had his game plan, but he would never. To me, he would just never make adjustments.
right, and I'm trying to figure out what happened, Flus. What happened with this game that you didn't make no adjustments
Adjustments.
like you did when we played week 1 with Philly? I mean, granted, we lost the game, but we I saw the in-game adjustments, I saw the halftime adjustments, and I saw the rain delay
Yeah,
adjustments, because you had a whole hour, you had
to
an
figure it out.
extra
Yeah,
hour.
to figure it out. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So what was it
Well,
with
that's
this
what I love
game?
about coaching with my husband. Oh my God, if he does not hesitate to make an adjustment.
Right.
Yeah, he does not hesitate to make an adjustment in the game. If somebody beat him one time on something, he's immediately making an adjustment, and they will not be they will not beat him twice on the
Right.
same situation. I mean, because he's making an immediate adjustment, and I love that about him. I'm learning. I'm learning. Anyway, so what else, girl? What else we got going on with these Dallas Cowboys?
Man, like I said, today's slow day because it was the team is their off day. I hope our coaching staff is game planning. And one thing I said on uh the Sunday post game show that I do on the other network, that I was telling people, don't think that Chicago is looking at that Philly game. They're looking at this game that
Yeah,
just passed.
yes, yeah, yeah.
Because yes, Flus was there to draft Caleb Williams, so he knows a little bit about them. He's not that far from and removed from the Chicago organization. Um,
But I think the biggest thing for me is Harris being on Chicago's staff.
Al Harris, that's what I was telling people. I'm like that. I said,
Al Harris knows them inside out
and,
because he was a defensive player and he
and he
went up against
drafted,
them
and
in practice every day.
right, and he drafted the same corners and the same safeties that we had when he was there. They're still in at the Star. They still there.
Right.
So granted,
So
we got
he
new.
knows them inside out and knows what
He
their
knows
weaknesses
them.
are.
Right. And just because the coaching staff changed, those players are still there. So we have to be cautious and leery to him. But not
I'm gonna tell
only,
you right now, Harris is gonna be on point.
yeah,
Harris is
and
gonna
now
be the difference maker between us losing or winning or losing against Chicago this weekend.
right. And not only he's still the DB coach for Chicago, he is also the defensive passing coordinator.
Coordinator, yeah, yeah.
So you
He's
don't think he's going to try
oh yeah.
everything to get that O line, to try to come for our O line? And the one thing that Chicago do have is, which they need to get something together with them with that secondary. They got receivers.
I think Jalen Johnson just is injured. I think isn't he one? I think he was one of the corners or one of the DBs, and I think he
Yeah,
was. But other than that,
but the thing is, when I look at their offense, they got receivers,
they
and
got receivers.
I'm looking at our secondary. If our secondary got burnt toast, whatever you want to say, they left it in a 500-degree oven for 2 minutes and it came out black,
Yeah,
like blackity black, 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 black.
yeah.
I can
Cooked.
only imagine what
We're
though.
cooked. Yeah, we're gonna be
Yeah.
cooked. Yeah.
So I mean,
Well, my daughter's
uh,
gonna be at that game, and my cousin, and I have an event this Saturday, and I was like, oh my God, can I get up Saturday morning and drive to Chicago and make this game? Because I looked for flights and there wasn't a flight. There wasn't a flight that would get me there on
get you
time.
there.
Yeah, and so I was like, ugh.
Yeah, and like I've
But
been telling, I was
but I've
like,
been
if
waiting
you,
on this event for a year. So yeah,
yeah, and I was telling people, like, if you're going, I said, this is as far as the Cowboys, because we
as you said,
play.
this will be the last time
This
that they'll
might be
play
the
at Soldier
last.
Field.
Yeah, this will probably be the last time, unless depending on how we place next year. Hold on, let me pull next year's schedule up to see. Um, because I don't think, because sometimes, like, when it comes to a NFC and an AFC team,
Hmm.
um, depending on how we place, like, if we place in the same, let's say if we place third this year and Chicago placed third this year, and we meet up with an NFC North team for the 2026, then we will play
Play
Chicago
Chicago
again,
again.
depending.
Okay.
But who do we
You
have
said Dallas
next?
has an indecisive quarterback who is under the gun. Dallas, he said, Mr. Brown says Dallas by 10. What's the over and under? What
I
does
didn't
Vegas have
get
to
there
over?
yet.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at it to see
I
what the
didn't
over and
get there
under.
yet.
Let's see what Vegas
Because
is talking
normally,
about.
yeah, I rarely entertain the Vegas thing, but no, sometimes it will come out by Wednesday. Well,
Yeah,
tomorrow, Thursday,
tomorrow.
it will come
Okay.
out. Let me see. Cowboys schedule 2026. Who do we have? So we have the NFC West, and we have the AFC South. And the other, so whoever we place with for the NFC North, I'm sorry, the NFC South.
Okay.
So whoever we place with for the NFC South, that's who we play. And whoever okay. And whoever, oh, hold on, let me go back. So whoever we place with for the NFC South and North, we play next year. So let's say if Chicago Bears
Okay.
um place third and we play third, then we're going back to Chicago next year.
Okay.
So and we play whoever we place with for the AFC North. So that's what next year's schedule look like. So yeah, we have all the NFC West and the AFC South, because Tennessee, Houston, Indianapolis, that's AFC South.
AFC South.
Yeah.
Okay.
And whoever we place with for AFC North and NFC South and North. So if we place with Chicago, then definitely next year will be the last year, because I think the Chicago Stadium is slated for 2027, 2028.
Are they doing a dome?
Yeah, it's a dome. Oh, it's nice.
And it needs to be a dome. I don't know how none of them northern schools, all of them should have Chicago, Green Bay. Of course, Detroit's got theirs together. How y'all not doing a dome? But congratulations to Chicago getting ready to put up a dome.
It is nice.
Because it is brutal in Chicago.
So I posted it. I'm gonna find it because I posted
You
it
have to send it to me.
in my sorority sorority football group.
Okay.
They they uh they showed the renderings of it, and it's gorgeous. But it's supposed to be ready because they're going to be contending with Washington to host the Super Bowl in 2031.
Okay.
So I want to
Okay.
say I think it's supposed to be done in 2027 or
Okay.
2028.
Okay. I have
But
to ask my daughter. Because I guess I need to find out where are they putting it.
um the Arlington Heights at
Mm,
the old Arlington Park racetrack.
mm. Okay.
And it's like a lakefront. I think it's like a
Mm-hmm.
lakefront area.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, because it's supposed to overlook the oh, it's nice. I've seen it. And I know it's like from what I read, it's like somewhere in the ballpark of 4.3 billion or something.
I believe it. Oh, I believe it.
But it's gorgeous.
Oh, I
Oh,
believe it.
it's
But
gorgeous.
they need it. They need a dome in Chicago because it is cold. in Chicago.
And I want to go to Chicago. Chicago is like on
My
my
daughter lives in Chicago, and so I've been there a couple times, and
yes. I have one of my Divine Nine sisters. She used to live up here, but she moved back to Chicago. Um and that's where she's from. Cause I always asked her, I was like, where's a good time to go? I said, I want to go in the spring. She was like, girl, spring. I said, she was like, spring Chicago is not like DMV. Uh
it's
it's
still
not like
not.
DMV spring
You
because
gotta go in the middle of the summertime.
right, because she was saying like June and July
Yes, June,
is
July.
like their spring because it's
Yes,
hot, it's not too cold.
yes,
So like where I'm at in the we not only
it's hot.
it's hot and then we have the humid hot.
Hmm.
So she was like, you do better going to Chicago like in June or
June and
July
July.
because that's how
Hmm.
spring is in there. And it don't get hot for them until
Yeah.
like sometime in August or September. And then
Hmm.
automatically it gets
It gets,
super cold.
yeah, it's
So
off chain.
yeah, so I said, so y'all don't have a fall then? She said, nope, we just have
Mm-mm.
she said we just have winter and spring.
Cold and cold.
Yeah. So I do want to go to Chicago.
Yeah,
That's on
you
my
have to do.
bucket list.
Yeah,
But yeah.
it's a good time. It's good eating.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a good time. It's a good
It,
time.
and I love Starbucks and I want to go to that Starbucks
The biggest
Reserve
Starbucks. Yeah.
in that
I have
roastery.
one of my cousins. They just did the whole tour, and they went to there, and they had a good time. But yeah, it was good stuff. Well, listen, I don't. We can go ahead and ship. So Jadavian Clowney is signed,
Yeah, I'm trying
right?
to see if they not offered him. Did they assign him
They're
a
saying he's
jersey
expected
number?
to contribute as soon as week 3 against the Bears. So they said he might be playing this Sunday
Yep, he's playing this Sunday. He's wearing jersey 96. I thought the Cowboys was going to be kind of petty and give him 11.
and give him 11.
Because like I said, I know how the Cowboys have been petty since its establishment. We already talked about that story, how Clint Murchison, one of the founders of the organization, he had the rights to the "Hail to the
Yeah.
Redskins" song, and he
Hmm.
did not
He did
relinquish
not
the
release.
rights until he passed in like the 80s or something like that. So I was like, okay, I have a feeling that they're going to go ahead and give Clowney number 11. And I said, because 11 hasn't really been it hasn't been that cold yet. And because, as soon as we got rid of Zeke and we signed Gilmore,
They
and
gave
then he
him.
got 21. And I was like,
Yeah.
I said, dang, it hasn't even been like a good
Right.
24,
Y'all don't even
24
let him.
hours. I'm like, you didn't, like, you just erased just whited
Yeah.
out Elliott and put Gilmore on there. He's 21. But nah, so he'll be wearing number 96
Okay.
on the team. Um he has 12 years. He come from South Carolina. He's 6'5", 266. He still has he said he still got gas in the tank. So
Okay.
practice is tomorrow. I
Okay.
think at 12 o'clock their time. We say Kelz in the 70s. The Cowboys was as popular as 20. Yeah, because the fan base still makes it popular. We is the Cowboys fan base is huge.
Huge.
Um, I think what makes it where because it's been 30 years since we've won a Super Bowl. And I mean, it's crazy, but hey, I know some teams that
They've
has
never
never
even
smelled a
a
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl. Yeah.
But I think Jerry is realizing the mayhem of his ways because we would have had he let coaches do
Coach.
what coach. instead of him interfering,
We'd have two,
we
three
would have
more,
had,
or we would have never lost Jimmy Johnson.
yeah, Jerry,
Oh,
even if,
he's saying the cheerleaders,
oh, oh yeah, they so, yeah. Um,
the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Oh yeah.
one of the original cheerleaders, she's the choreographer, but she know they have more like younger people there that does a lot of the choreography. Um, yeah, they're still probably they just have they have what, a second season on Netflix that started during the summertime.
I have Netflix, so I
I
don't.
mean, I don't follow the
Yeah,
cheerleading like that.
yeah.
I I've done cheerleading like 1 year, and that was in elementary school, and I was over and done with it. That was the girliest thing I have ever done. But
Yeah, I've always been a baller. I never was a cheerleader, so.
yeah, I like sports. Like even like
Mhm.
what they call the lane sports. Like my dad, and I know this is way off topic, but my dad used to bowl. When I say my dad,
My
every
parents both. My parents are in their mid 70s, and they are on like 5 leagues. And
that's how my dad
dad,
was.
my mom was 67 years old when she bowled her first 300 game, and
Oh
my dad
wow.
is 72, and he's bowled. And I think he bowled his
Uh-huh.
third or fourth 300 game.
Yeah, my dad ever
Yeah, they're avid bowlers.
yeah, my dad has been bowling ever since my existence, and he was on like every, it almost seemed like every day he was on a lead bowl. He was on like the evening uh league bowling teams. He will pick my sister and I up from school, then he'll go to one bowling alley, and he was on a league there. All Everybody that was on the league, I forgot how many teams it was, everybody was teachers. So in between their bowling sets and stuff, someone from, it doesn't matter which team, they will come sit with my sister, and they will help us with our homework and all this other stuff. And then he used to bowl at some of the local Air Force bases that is here in the DC area. Then
Mhm.
he'll bowl somewhere else. Then he had, I think the only day he really didn't bowl was Sundays. But from like Monday to Saturday, he was on the lead boat, and we will go. The only time we didn't go was when it was like one of their paydays, and then we'll go to the mall while he's bowling. But I loved it, and I got into bowl. I'm not like him, but I love to
I
bowl.
love bowling. I hate that we don't have the time to really go more. On when we were
Right.
starting to go, and then they had like a karaoke stuff, and then they shut down the bowling alley, which was kind of closer to our
Mm,
house. And then the other bowling alley is like a kind of across town. It's not like we live in a big city. It ain't like it only takes 15, 20 minutes to get over there. But it still just seemed like it was so inconvenient to go
there,
over there.
yeah.
Yeah. To
But yeah,
bowl. But yeah, we were
I'm
starting to
more,
get into it too.
yeah, I'm more of a sports person. Like I'm trying to get into basketball. Like I don't have an allegiance to a basketball team. I do have like,
I'm a Lakers fan. I've been a Lakers fan forever. Before Magic Johnson, I was a Lakers fan before
mhm,
Magic came to the Lakers. And I like the Sparks. I don't know how I became for girls, but for even for the women, I still love I like players,
yeah,
like I'm a Maya Moore fanatic,
yeah.
so now my favorite player is probably Ryan Howard because she came out of
That's
Kentucky.
my soror.
Yeah, it's
Shout
Ryan
out
because
Ryan.
because she came out of Kentucky, and yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah. But yeah, I have a Wizards jersey that, because I had some fan cash on Fanatics.
hmm
So, and when I noticed, because I didn't even notice, I was just going through my emails trying to clear it out and stuff, and it was like, hey, you have certain amount of dollars in fan cash. And I was like, let me see what I could get. And it was a nice little chunk or whatever. Um, and they had I can't think of his first name, but I know his last name is Hachimura. He was one of the Wizards draft
Okay.
pick. Yeah.
Hmm.
So his jersey was like $26 and they had free shipping and handling. And I had like $27 worth of fan
Hmm.
cash. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and use this. And I think yeah, I didn't have to pay nothing, no taxes, no nothing. So that little 27 something, I used that for the fan cash. And then during one of the final games for the Wizards, they had and my aunt, who's also my sorority sister, she came up for the game because she's a Wizards fan.
Okay.
So they had the hoodies on sale and everything. So the hoodies was maybe like $10, and these were like the Tommy Hilfiger ones that go for
Okay.
like for $80 or something like that. So she got me one, and I got one and stuff. So when she comes up here for the games, then I'll put on like a Wizard, either that Wizards jersey or
Hmm.
that hoodie, depending
Okay.
on the weather, and I say I'm gonna be a whiz kid for the game, for the day, just But yeah, I don't have no allegiance. I'm trying to get into basketball. I'm not enthralled with it like I am with football, but I am a big
Well,
baseball.
I like the WNBA better than I like the NBA. The NBA
Yeah.
just doesn't, it's not as competitive anymore. And I think after we lost Kobe, or after Kobe retired, it was
Hmm.
it was hard for me to watch the
Yeah.
NBA. But you're more into baseball. So my daughter and them,
I
they're going
love
to,
baseball.
so this weekend, that not only are they going to the Chicago game, I think they're going to a White Sox game on Saturday, I
Okay.
believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she goes to the White Sox. And
Yeah,
so
I'm a Nata too, so I do rep the home team for
okay.
baseball. So I am a Nats fan.
Okay.
Um so 2019, that was a good year for us. Uh but yeah,
My
those are
husband
two
is a
sports.
baseball coach, and I enjoyed watching my son play when he was playing in high school.
Mhm.
And after that, it was a wrap for me. So I'll go support my husband when he's
Mhm.
coaching every once
Yeah.
in a while. But other than that, mm.
Yeah.
And then
It's
when David Price was playing, because he's the brother-in-law of one of my best friends, I watched him. But other
mhm.
than that, yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't do
But
baseball.
yeah, I was like, once cheerleading was done, yeah, I don't want to do this no more. It was alright. I don't want to do it. I was like, that's the girliest thing I've done. I mean, I'm more like a girly tomboy, but I'm into sports.
Yeah. So
I
Gridiron
love
Beauties likes
sports.
the Rams. You're a Rams fan, Gridiron Beauties. So Gridiron Beauties is that's who I follow them because they're really really big with the women's tackle football, and we
Mm-hmm.
we have to do that. You guys got a good there's a good team in Dallas, but the DC Divas are they're my girls in DC. So if you're not going to the DC Divas games in
I said,
DC,
I
you got
know,
to you
I
got
know.
to because they are ballers.
I don't even know if she's with DC Divas, but I know a lot of people, a lot of ladies I know that's with Washington Prodigy.
Okay.
And then I also know someone, if she's still with them, with DC Divas. Um but yeah, I keep saying, like, we have two women football
Teams
teams
there in
in
DC.
in DC, and I was like, I definitely want to check them out.
Oh yeah.
Um I I know Prodigy used to play at one of the historic high schools that we have here in DC. I don't even know if they still use that field, but I also
Mhm.
know they used to play at my old high schools on their football field. So
Okay.
I definitely do want to check them out and everything. Um
Yeah, I mean, I think that was one of the reasons why I kind of started Hits and Heels was because I was coaching for a women's team and I wanted to bring more awareness to, not only because I'm a Cowboys fan, but for the women's tackle football. There's like 3, 4 leagues right now. There's the WFA, the WNFA, and there's like
Yeah,
2 other ones. And I'm like, it's hard. It's almost hard to keep up with them. But
keep up with it.
I yeah,
Yeah,
but I promote the WFA probably more because the team that I coach for is in the WFA.
yeah,
Um, but
and and
but
I
I promote all of them because
yeah, and I know like once football season ends, I'd be like, oh my god, what am I gonna
yeah, and that's
do?
the thing. The women play in the spring, so I'm like,
Right.
okay, once the guys is over with, then get ready for the women because the women play in the spring.
Right. And then,
Yeah.
and then we also have, I don't even know what their new name is, but the XFL,
Oh, you got the XFL team too
yeah,
in DC. Yeah, I think
yeah,
one of my friends, her son plays for Kentucky. I think her son played for the DC team. I think.
yeah. And oh my God, we got one of them cornerbacks off of DC Defenders. I can't think of his name.
Okay.
It's gonna come back to me. Is it Rochelle? I want to say it's Rochelle. But
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
we have one of them, one of the DC Defender cornerbacks that's with us.
okay.
Um But yeah, I mean, I was like, oh God, what we gonna do after football season? But right
And I
after,
tell everybody once football season's over with, then you kind of finishing up with March Madness, and then you go through the college basketball is the bomb during March Madness, and then as soon as and not shortly after that's over, then the women's tackle football usually starts like the end of April and usually goes through like July.
yeah,
So
I only
yeah.
watch March Madness just to just to support the HBCUs, and if they make
Mhm.
it, I'll continue it. But if they get eliminated, I'll be like, all right, what else to do? But I'm like, I live in DC. We had the DC Defenders. And I keep saying, oh, I'm gonna go check them out. Never do. And then the one year that I wanted to check them out, I still didn't. What happened? They won the championship. So, and that would have at least kept the football going until it's time for the
Time
draft and
time
all
to
that other
draft,
stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, and it's also good to see. And I also want to see like, okay, what teams, like what NFL teams will someone from the XFL, how will I place them and how would I put them? Like what team will work best with those players?
Mm.
But one thing I can say with the Cowboys and that freaking Will McClay, I keep talking about.
I
He
need to
know
beat Will McClay.
that's my buddy. He when we had Bones Fossil for our special coordinator, they knew how to go and
And
get those UF, what was it, UFL,
you, yeah. Mhm.
USFL, the XFL. They knew how to get those players because we got Cavante Turpin and we
From
got
there,
Brandon Aubrey
Brandon,
off
oh,
there.
mhm.
Because some people forgot that Brandon Aubrey, he was a soccer player
Soccer player. Yeah.
before before he went into the
Mhm.
USFL and before he came to the league. They the Cowboys know how to pick some players.
Okay. Well, we'll wrap this up because, girl, I am sleepy and I got to get up at 4:30 in this
Oh
morning. But thank
Jesus.
you for all the updates
Yeah, I
and
mean
giving us the tea. Hopefully, we'll see what happens next week after the Chicago game, and hopefully, we don't choke this weekend. But I think I'm like Mr. Brown. I think at least by 10
yeah. I
or
I,
more.
I
I'm
have
hoping it's a blowout.
yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a blowout.
I don't think it's gonna be a blowout, but
Yeah,
a win is a win. I don't care if it's by 1 point. A win is a win. Well, I'll
right.
take it.
And one thing I do want to say is everyone just keep tracking Mozzie Smith, because if he's inactive for this game, that's really telling a lot. I mean, it told a lot during the first game when I saw that he was inactive.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think they're trying to put him on a trading block or try to wait until November to release him because it wouldn't. count that much against
The salary
the
cap.
salary cap as far as
Mm-hmm.
dead money.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, the and the depth chart just came out. I just got the depth chart. They just sent it
Okay.
to me for this game. So
I'm waiting
we
on
will
them to pull
see.
up Zion.
Yeah, they put so they elevated him. They also elevated Rochelle and Ryan Flournoy. And I'm trying to think, did Childish did he even make
Children,
did he even
children.
make the field?
I
That's
don't
it.
think.
I'm recording the game, so I'm gonna
Okay.
watch the game again.
And if you did, let me know so I can go back and watch
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it probably tomorrow.
it. Okay.
Um, but yeah, yeah, they elevated the players. I know when they elevated them for Philly, they were basically like on special teams, but they didn't put them
Okay.
on
On
the
actual
actual
duty.
start. Yeah,
Okay.
but I think Zion would have been good as far because I liked him during preseason. He did good
All
in
out
the
during
slot.
preseason. Yeah.
Yeah, he did good in the slot. Him and
Mm-hmm.
Come on Hall.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. They uh, they need to figure it out because I already know that Ben Johnson, Al Harris, and whoever else they have,
They're going, they're the,
they're looking at this Giants film.
absolutely
And they're going to scheme their play calling, their scheme,
similar.
their everything based on what they saw on that Giants tape.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And you know what? And definitely gonna let you go after this. But hey, I mean, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But we might have a shot of beating Kansas City on Thanksgiving because
Oh,
I don't know
girl.
what's going on
My
over there.
girl Sharon will have a fit if we beat her Kansas City Chiefs on Thanksgiving.
I mean, I that's what I'm saying. I'm not
But
putting
0
all
and 2 though,
I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket, but I don't know what's like how
what's going
you
on with
like Travis. You used to dominate in this. Why you dropped a pass right in the end zone?
that is so unlike him. Is
Very
he
unlike
is
him.
he is he unfocused?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what I think it is when when you messed up with Kai Nicole. I think that's when you went down. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm just saying.
The old
You
girl,
lost some of that
the
swagger.
yeah, that old girl. You messed up with her. I think you went from Lowry seasoning to mayonnaise real
Yeah, right.
quick.
Like, yeah, okay. But all right, girl.
Yeah.
We're gonna
All
get
right.
off here and we will see you again. Y'all, we'll be right back again next week. We'll give y'all updates on what happens on the Chicago game, give you updates on all the T kills with the intels. We'll bring it back and run it back
Run it
next
back.
Tuesday night at
Yes.
9 o'clock.
Hi, Tiffany. Missed you.
Yeah, Tiff said she had just got home. We'll be back with Tiffany Roderick. She'll be back with us next week, and anybody else that wants to come on with you. But you got to be a Dallas Cowboys fan, though.
Yeah, gotta be a Cowboys fan. And I
If
think
you're not a Cowboys fan, you can't come on live.
right, and I think your event is this Sunday, not Sunday, Saturday,
My
right?
event is this Saturday. Yes, the
Yeah, so
Lexington African American Sports Hall of Fame.
yeah, we
I
definitely got
still
to
do
have that.
not. I've ordered 3 dresses and they have not fit, and I'm like, oh my god, I hate waiting
Oh,
till the last minute. But we'll see. We'll put
Jesus.
it together.
Yeah,
It'll
we'll
come together
figure it
some
out.
kind of way. We'll figure it out.
Yes.
But we'll get updates on that. Tomorrow, we'll be live. We're doing because it's the Lexington African American Sports Hall of Fame. Tomorrow we'll be doing call-ins and drop-ins on people giving feedback from past galas, and we'll be leading up to that.
Awesome. I'll definitely be tuning in 9 o'clock, right?
9 o'clock tomorrow. We'll be back
Yep.
with the hubs. All
Yes,
right, girl. We'll
let's
see you
back.
next week.
See you next week.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you, Mr. Brown.